Hello, hello, and welcome everybody to the Meditate and Create day 5 of our Mindfulness and Creativity Challenge. So I just wanted to thank everybody who's been following along with these videos, pushing themselves to explore the creativity activities and the different meditations that we've been doing. It's been a bit of an experimental project for me and my first time trying something like this, especially in the online format. So I really appreciate everybody's support and participation and patience with me as I've been figuring out some of the challenges that have come up for me as well. So I just want to thank you all so much for your presence and your contribution to this event. So I'm going to jump right into today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about observation. I'm also going to be doing some drawing. It could be drawing or painting from observation. And I might just go right ahead and say it now. If your medium is something other than drawing or painting, like writing or music, you can still use the assignment as kind of a metaphor for what you're working on. So you could still write from observation, write describing an object you're seeing, or you could play your music from observation, play your music that's influenced or inspired by something you're observing in your environment. So I don't want people to feel like these exercises are exclusively limited to art and drawing and painting. So that's part of using our creativity and imagination to see how we can bend these challenges to fit whatever activity that we might be doing in the moment. So for today, I wanted to talk about mindfulness and observation, and we're actually going to go into a little bit of a Vipassana meditation exercise and practice. And Vipassana has been something that's been super influential for me and very beneficial for me in my life. So I'm always happy to spread Vipassana and spread the good word that it's an amazing practice. And if you haven't heard of it, it's one type of Buddhist meditation that is extremely focused on observation. So it's a great, great practice. It's very challenging, but also super beneficial. And we're just going to do really a few short minutes of it. So nothing to be too intimidated by. So basically, the practice of Vipassana is a process of observation, and the observation is of the self, and that observation is actually observing the physical sensations in the body. So the first technique that we're going to start out doing is called Anapana, and that's actually an observation of the sensations felt when we breathe. So I'm going to specifically focus on the Anapana that I've learned, which is focusing on breathing through the nostrils. So when we do our Anapana practice, we are focusing exclusively on the sensation of the air as it enters and exits our nostrils. And the intention is to focus on nothing else, to try to release all thought, or if thoughts arise, to try not to engage with them. And I know this is super challenging, especially if you're new to this practice, but we're just going to give it a little try. And basically, the benefit and outcome of this practice is it's extremely purifying. It's for people, especially people who have a lot of mental chatter, mental chaos in their minds. This is an amazing way to just focus in the mind, focus in on one thing, one sensation, remove all of that mental chatter and get back to kind of a clarity and just the emptiness of the present moment. So it's a really cool practice. So I'm going to kind of guide us and narrate as we go through the practice. So first we're going to do 3 minutes of Anapana, which is the breathing practice. And then we're after that going to do 5 minutes of Vipassana, full Vipassana practice, which is we then switch from breathing to observing the sensations in our body. So this is also similarly a beneficial technique because you're also working on your concentration, and you can also cleanse and purify not only the mind, but the energy of the body as well through this process of concentration. When you do the real the real Vipassana practice at a Vipassana retreat center, it's 10 days of silent meditation. And all you're doing the whole time is either this breathing exercise or this observing the sensations of the body. And it's like so challenging. And when the average person hears of that, they're like, wow, that's incredibly boring. But once you really get into it, it's actually it can even be a pleasurable activity. You go through the full spectrum of emotions and feelings, and all kinds of things arise, and it can really help to release blocked energy, blocked memories, all kinds of things come up when you go through this process. And it's so interesting and so amazing to see what can come through just through focusing and concentrating our mind rather than letting it constantly run all over the place, thinking of a million different things all the time. So, yeah, to get started, you can just find yourself a comfortable place. Probably better to be seated for this one. So I'm just going to set up a little timer. And we're going to do first Anapana for 3 minutes. So again, I'm going to kind of try and narrate as we're going through it. But we are literally just sitting still and breathing and just trying to observe the sensation of air as it enters and exits our nostrils. So we're observing just how it feels. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it warmer when we exhale? Maybe we have a tickling in our nose. Maybe we have different sensations, but really, really trying to hone in just on that sensation and nothing else. It's very, very challenging, as I said, but we're going to give it a try. So I'm going to just start this little timer, and we can go ahead and just start breathing with your nose in and out. Nothing else, just focus on the sensations of the breath as it enters and exits the nostrils. And if any thoughts arise, you can just try to let them slip away and not give them any attention. And just always come back to the breath and the sensation of the breath. So that's 1 minute. Keep going, 2 minutes done. Okay, and 3 minutes is finished. Nice job. So you can just take a minute to observe anything that has shifted in your mind and your energy just from that little bit of breathing. And if you want, you can write some notes. If not, just observe, that's fine. And so for experienced meditators, that's probably, they might be saying, well, that's so easy, 3 minutes. It's nothing. For people who are not so experienced with meditation, 3 minutes can already be very challenging. So I just wanted to give a little introduction to Anapana. And yeah, it's a practice that you can build up your time with, and you can go an unlimited amount of time just doing that breathing and focusing. And it's actually amazing, the different things that you experience if you really spend a lot of time doing just Anapana. But it's definitely challenging. So I'm just going to go into one more meditation exercise. As I mentioned, we're going to do the full Vipassana exercise now, and I'm going to narrate it a bit more as we go through it. So I'm just going to set up my Vipassana timer. So again, for this one, we're actually going to be observing the sensations in the body, whatever they may be. The idea and the word that they use in Vipassana, if you do a retreat, is equanimity, which means that you're just strictly observing the sensations, not observing or judging them as good or bad, pleasurable, painful. You're really just trying to observe them exactly as they are, without judging them. And this is an amazing practice because eventually you can learn to observe something like pain. And if you're able to observe it from a non-judgmental perspective, sometimes we can actually like release tension in the body that's actually holding on and maintaining that pain. And when we don't judge it, when we don't fight the pain, then suddenly the pain can be released and let go. So it's a really cool technique as well, although it's funny, ironic, because there's also supposed to be no desire to achieve any specific outcome in Vipassana. So we also can't practice Vipassana hoping or intending to release our pain, although we can do it with an overall intention of improving ourselves and maybe reducing our overall suffering. But yeah, the goal is really strictly observation. And again, if thoughts arise, we really don't want to entertain our thoughts. We really just want to observe. And just one more thing I wanted to mention is the really interesting thing as well that I learned through Vipassana is that sometimes strong emotions arise like anger or sadness, and you can begin to learn to observe those emotions more for their sensations in the body rather than just naming them and saying, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. I can notice, yes, this is the sensation I generally identify with as anger. But as I go through the body and observe the actual sensations, I can realize anger is actually a sensation of tension. For me, it's tension in the throat, sometimes tension in the shoulders, a sensation of heat, maybe in the throat, in the chest, heat in the brain, in the head. There's lots of different sensations and everybody experiences them differently, but it was actually very interesting and empowering for me to be able to break down my emotions beyond the label and to just witness them for the sensations that they're creating within the body. So it's a very cool practice in that way. I just want to note one more thing. You'll notice I'm also not playing music or anything else because even music can actually become a distraction when you're doing Vipassana because that's how much you want to focus. So All right, we're going to try a 5-minute body scan with Vipassana, and I'm going to narrate as we go through the body, just observing the sensations. So let's give it our best shot and see how it goes. So you can sit comfortably, and we're going to start at the top of the head and just notice and observe any sensations in the top of the head. And you might notice warm or cold. You might notice sensations of itching or tingling. And sometimes you can't even really feel a sensation in particular parts of your body, and that's okay as well. So we're going to begin to progress down from the top of the head. I like to do kind of sections of the head. So we're going to go down to the area that's the forehead, and kind of as if there's a band or circle just beneath the top of the head, going around the whole head. And just observe the sensations in this part of the body. You just observe them for what they are, not good, not bad. And we can let this observation continue to progress downwards. I like to imagine as if there's a scanner going down my body. So I'm going scanning from the top, past the forehead. Now I'm around my eyes, around the top of the ears, and scanning throughout the whole head at that level. So again, just observing the sensations in this position. And the more familiar you become with this, the more you can go at your own pace. You can go slow or fast, but I'm just gonna go at my pace that feels good. So we can move down, scan down further, down now, encompassing all of the ears, the nose, maybe the mouth, and just scanning the rest of this portion of the head down, maybe moving down now a bit further now, getting the whole head down to the neck. Now just scanning this whole area, the face, the head, the neck, for whatever sensations you might experience. This can include the sensation of your hair, of your clothes, whatever temperature you might have. And so then we can let this scanning continue down to the upper shoulders, upper back, noticing any sensations. And we can just let this scanning continue down. Some people like to do the arms exclusive of the chest. So we can go down, scanning through the upper arms, down to the elbows, into the forearms, just observing whatever sensations are present. Scanning down into the wrists and into the hands and fingertips. Then we can move our awareness back up to the chest and upper back, kind of the upper torso, all as one piece. And just beginning to scan through this area, all the sensations. You can notice the clothing touching you. And any tension you might feel, it's all just part of the sensations. And just let this scanning continue further down the torso. Going down the back and down the front of the body until you scan your whole spine, your whole stomach area. And then we can move down to scan our buttocks and our hips. And just always observing whatever sensations are there. And scanning down into the legs. All right, that's actually our 5 minutes of Vipassana. It's already over. If you like, if you're watching the replay, you can pause the video and continue if you like, or if not, that was just to give you a general sense of the technique of Vipassana. So the idea is you go throughout the rest of the body, through the legs, all the way down to the shins and calves, the ankles, the toes. And once you get through the whole body down to the toes, then you can start working your way back up from the toes, up through the legs, through the torso, the arms, neck, head, scanning up. And the whole time just observing sensation and just remaining aware of what's happening, trying our best not to judge anything as good or bad, and trying not to entertain any thoughts that arise as well. And so that's Vipassana, and the practice is you just keep scanning up and down, up and down, up and down. People that practice Vipassana regularly practice up to 2 hours a day. Some people like to practice even more. They're very fanatical about it. But some people at least practice 1 hour at a time. So maybe you can imagine, maybe you can't even imagine the amount of relaxation and crazy energy that arises through practicing even just 20 minutes of Vipassana is already amazing. So if you want to just pause for a second and notice any shift in your energy that might have already come up from just those 5 minutes. I know I myself am already feeling more relaxed and more at ease, so that's really cool. So for the sake of not taking up too much time, I'm going to keep moving forward with this class and lesson today. So that's really nice practice. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it also. So the way that we're going to expand this in our art practice, I think it's very cool. So because we're using this technique of observation, we can also incorporate observation into our art practice. So today I'm actually going to give a more specific assignment. Today I want us to draw something from observation that we have in our room, in our home, in our space, something around you. It really doesn't matter what it is. It could be a piece of fruit, it could be a little statue, a candle, a plant, whatever you want. Just keep in mind, like if it's something like a plant, that's generally much more detailed to draw than like a coffee mug or something. But yeah, you can draw whatever you want. So I'm going to have us do 2 drawings. The first drawing is going to be a realistic drawing from observation, and it's going to be timed. And the second drawing is also, you're going to be drawing the same object, but you're going to be drawing it with a bit of distortion or transformation in some way. So you can draw the same object, but maybe the proportions are different. Maybe it's a different angle and the top is a little wider than it really appears in reality. Maybe you can shift the colors or play with whatever aspect that you like to. But that's the challenge that I'm offering us today. So if you want to go ahead and get your art supplies ready, and as I mentioned before, if you're writing or doing a different creative medium, then feel free to transform this assignment to fit whatever medium that you are doing. I'm just going to play a little bit of music. And All right, so I'm going to be drawing this candle that I have here in front of me. So I'm just going to get my camera set up. Get yourself set up and ready. And as I said, the first drawing will be on a timer. So I think we're just going to spend 5 minutes for the first drawing, which is a quick drawing. So keep in mind when we're doing a 5-minute drawing from observation, we want to do our best to kind of get the outline and get as much of the object into the picture and into the image as quickly as possible. And we're also keeping in mind proportion and relationships of the different lines and perspectives of the object that we're drawing. So that's why this is a bit of a challenge. So I'm just gonna set up my camera here. Excuse me. Yeah, so we're gonna do 2 drawings as I mentioned. So first one is going to be as realistic as possible from observation. If we didn't start already, I'm going to start a 5-minute timer. Go ahead and start now. Okay, there's 3 minutes left. Okay, 1 minute left. Just do the best you can. Oof, that scared me. Okay, 5 minutes left. Ah, any last details you want to put in? Go for it. Okay. Oh, not terribly happy with my candle picture, but that's what it is. And so we're gonna do one more final drawing. We're gonna make this one more like 10 minutes. So we're going to draw the same object again from observation, but this time you're gonna use some distortion to alter its appearance and the perspective, the angles, whatever kind of distortion you want to add. I'm going to use some color as well. So I'll do a 10-minute timer for our last drawing for today. So get ready and go for it. Okay, 4 minutes left. Just over 1 minute left. All right, time is up. And your last little marks and details. All right, thank you everybody so much for participating, watching this video right now. I appreciate your time and I hope that you enjoyed this video and have enjoyed meditation as well as the drawing exercise. And I just want to mention, if you enjoy this practice, if you want to improve your drawing practice more, I am launching a new online course that is Intro to Drawing we're going to be going, I have several different chapters I'm covering. It's three-dimensional shapes and drawing hands, drawing still lives, color theory, perspective. We're going to cover all the basics. We're going to color all the basics. It's going to be a really cool pre-recorded course. So it's going to be a go at your own pace kind of online course. And it's fully releasing in October, but you can already purchase the course now and you can already access the first 2 chapters. So that's really cool. And I'm going to be posting and sharing the link in the Facebook group. And I also have an upcoming 4-week Meditate and Create course where we're going to go much deeper into this process of meditating and creating together. So we're going to go deeper into our meditations, deeper into our explorations of selves, and we're going to be working on our art techniques as well, and working towards building up our techniques to create the final art piece, the other course that we can feel accomplished with and witness our growing and personal growth through the process of our art creation. So that's also, you can find more information about that on my website at leahsimonehealing.com, and just go under Meditate and Create and you can find all the details. You can sign up there. And I want to thank you again so much for your presence on this 5-day challenge. As I mentioned before, it was very experimental for me. It's my first time doing this. So I really, really appreciate all the support, all the participation, and I hope that you really enjoyed these exercises and activities. And if you ever have any questions, comments, anything you want to share about this process, please feel free to reach out to me directly on Facebook. Or you can find my contact on my website as well, leahsimonehealing.com. So thank you again so much. Take care and enjoy your creative time. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. See you next time.